Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. Another episode where we go into news and prophecy, linking the things happening throughout the entire planet Earth to the Holy Scriptures, all right, to show the elect, the faithful remnant, that the words of Yahweh Bashmiel Shai are faithful and true as we sing this new song, all right, pursuant to the Holy Scriptures that will be used, okay, as a threat, all right, to this new world order, this wicked system, all right, via mere speech, all right. We are the servants, the prophets of Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, sent into the planet Earth, all right, in mortal flesh, with the message from the heavens, this message that we are preaching, which is likened unto seeking, all right, is directly from the heavens, and it will be used to overcome this devil, under the covering of the blood of Yahweh Shai. We're chanting down this wicked age, this wicked system, all right, the leaders of this new world order, all right, the heathen who are joined unto them, as well as 2/3 of our people, all right, who are drunk, all right, off of the wine of Babylon, and who do not want to return to Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. And again, everything that we see happening, all right, in the entire planet Earth is happening via, all right, biblical prophecy, all right. And if you're looking around, all right, you're clearly, if you're looking with a spiritual eye, you're clearly seeing where this world is going. You're seeing the rebellion against Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, against the natural order. And we're here to counteract that, all right, to push and preach the right order sent from on high through Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, all right. Things are chaotic. Things are satanic, as the scriptures say. In the latter days, perilous times would come, and troublesome times are here, all right. And the source of the chaotic environment that we're witnessing, okay, ultimately is sin. As the scriptures say, iniquity would increase, and the love of many will wax cold, all right. And what we're witnessing is the result of a nation that does not fear the Lord, does not, respect natural order, and is only rebellious continually in their thoughts. And we've seen this before, all right. As we go into the Holy Scriptures, the things that are written aforetime are written for our learning, okay. And the days before the flood, were just like these days, but these days are even worse, which is why fire is coming, okay. And a great judgment is being prepared and set for this wicked world, all right, and this plan of an NW0 that these elites, are boasting themselves in is going to be ultimately destroyed. And what it's all predicated upon is being anti-Messiah, anti-nature, anti-order that was set. So what we're going to talk about today is how disorder in marriage, okay, is a big part of the NW0. And ultimately, as we're seeing all of these rebellions, okay, and cultural perversions being pushed upon the people, using people who are rooted on the left hand. All right. And when we say the left hand, ultimately these people are juiced in to the system. All right. The elites use these people. All right. And now they're using these podcasts because people don't really watch, mainstream TV as they used to. All right. But, whether it's podcasts, they're using, actors, actresses, people who have, names and so-called clout in this world. They're using them to lead the people into a rebellious lifestyle, all right? And it's mainly centered around, all right, the woman being used as a weapon, just as she was in the garden. You see, used as a weapon, all right, to promote chaos, all right, and that's what happened in the garden, all right. The woman was taken out of her natural order, all right, and the man followed suit, and the result was ultimately a great fall, all right, which is the lesson that we're learning here, all right, as we've received the Holy Spirit. But we're not going to get into these particular matters. We're just going to touch them on a surface level, but ultimately we'll tie it to what's written in this book, surrounding the New World Order. Now, if you aren't privy to this situation, all right, here it is. This man, his name is Adam 22. He's over this No Chumper podcast, which, ultimately this is his so-called wife. And again, all of these people are pawns within the grand scheme of things. All right. A lot of them are actors. A lot of them are placed in these positions for these particular situations. A lot of them are paid off to create these situations. But overall, they're all Satanist. This guy here, he claims to be an atheist. But ultimately, this is his wife, and she did a sex scene with this individual here. And you can see the sign he's throwing up. I don't know who he is, but pretty much now they're all interviewing about it. You see, he's interviewing his wife. All right, he's interviewing the guy who boned his wife, and they're talking about it. And ultimately, this is a very, very wicked act, but these are the norms that are being pushed on the people, and it's all centered around disorder in marriage. Disorder in marriage and disorder in family structure, okay, is a big cause of a lot of the confusion we see, amongst the youth, all right, and throughout the world, period. All right, the Heavenly Father ordained marriage and family structure for a purpose, all right, and it is the most important component to a thriving society, you see. But marriage and something as sacred as marriage has been taken and ultimately polluted, and this is absolutely wicked. I'm not going to play it again, all right, but this is what we have been witnessing. Okay, you see Will and Jada. Okay, she brings an individual into their household, a young man who's close to her son, and ends up sleeping with him. Okay, and all of these things, you take it with a grain of salt. Remember, these are actors, witches, warlocks, okay, and Satanists who deal with left-hand magic, and ultimately they're pawns in Satan's game, okay, to ultimately bind the strong man and spoil the goods. And that's what this devil has ultimately succeeded at, especially here in Babylon the Great. All right, the men are now all weak, effeminized, and women are leading, this rebellion, all right, of this new world. Okay, synonymously, all right, what a woman really is has been misconstrued, and you women who have been at the forefront of all of these rebellions and, been used for this great, used as this weapon against the order of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, all right, now you're being replaced, all right, and undermined within the grand scheme of things. Okay, but we'll get into that. But you see this situation where Will Smith is literally interviewing his wife about how she cheated on him, crying, just complete simplicity, complete disorder in marriage. Okay, and they use Jake to push a lot of this stuff. Okay, we have many situations. This situation of late with Keke Palmer, who used to be a Hollywood, sweetheart, you know. Now look at her, you see, and ultimately her husband just called her out for being on stage, with her ass out, dancing and grinding on another, individual, Usher. And ultimately the world is just cursing her out. I mean, him out, because basically he went to social media with it. So the world is, well, you ain't put a ring on it. You can't tell her what to do. But this is this child's mother. This is his child's mother. And again, these people are all being used. Again, I always talk about how we can't, undermine the fact that we are in a war. You see, we're in a war, and we can't look at things as everyday civilians. Yeah, these are situations that they're using, all right? But overall, these are enchantments being pushed. Okay, and disorder in marriage, all right, in this new world that they're trying to create, and all of these distractions that they're pushing out there for the purpose to take people's minds off of the reality of what's happening, all right. We can't, lose focus of that fact. But again, disorder in marriage, all right, and a woman being used as a tool of confusion, all right, in which the woman thinks somehow she's being empowered. Okay, somehow she's, getting a benefit from it, just like the woman in the garden, Eve. All right, she looked at it as a come up, as a benefit. I can do what I want. I can wear what I want. This is freedom. This, actually frees me from the bound of, order, because as pertaining to wisdom. All right, let's get it in the book of Sirach, the 6th chapter. Okay, Sirach, the 6th chapter, and let's see. I'll start at 18. My son, gather instruction from thy youth up, and the instruction comes from, all right, the law, statutes, and commandments. So shalt thou find wisdom till thine old age. And when you look at how our people are acting, when you look at how the average individual is acting, it's absolutely satanic. Here it is. You got, all right, fathers and mothers completely out of order, all right, which leaves the children, all right, to be ultimately brought up in a way that is not right. You see, come to her wisdom as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruits. All right. For thou shalt not toil much and labor about her, but thou shalt eat her fruits right soon. All right. And that's ultimately the tree of life, the fruit of the tree of life. It says, she is very unpleasant to the unlearned, and he that is without understanding will not remain with her. This is why the people here in this earth, all right, are walking about in darkness. This is the condemnation, that light is coming to the world, but men love darkness rather than light. So wisdom, order, is unpleasant to the unlearned. All right, and we'll tie it all together. It says, she will lie on him as a mighty stone of trowel, and he will cast her from being ere it belong. All right, because people who don't want to be in order, people who hate order, people who don't want to dwell with wisdom will eventually say, all right, trying to do right is too burdensome. As the scriptures say, the laws are not grievous. You see, but we've been brought up in a world that teaches us nothing but rebellion. And the women are used as a major proponent of that confusion. And we'll show you. You see? For wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many. Give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel, and put thy feet into her fetters, and thy neck into her chain. See, wisdom is ultimately a yoke, okay? A yoke. Again, we're prisoners of Yahweh Shai, all right? We're in captivity, all right, to the wisdom we've learned, all right? And we've put it on as fetters, all right, which ultimately it restrains us from doing particular things. See, the serpent in the garden and the philosophy that's being pushed here in this world is ultimately freeing you from the fetters of righteousness. You see? And that's what we see as a culture being pushed, all right, by these so-called celebrities, by these so-called podcasts, which ultimately the left hand is dealing with these podcasts, these particular people who just pop up out of nowhere and, they get all of these interviews. Okay, there's a lot of left hand energy and enchantments being thrown out. Okay? Steph Curry and his wife, okay, they're being used to push disorder in marriage. Okay? If you remember that situation. All right, and this ain't the first. They talk about, this lifestyle where, he doesn't care who she messes with, and the do as thou wilt. She, I guess this dude comes out with muscles and she takes her ring off. Again, these are all witches and warlocks on the left-hand side. When you get to a particular plateau and a particular, status in this society, all right, Amalek, the elites, are going to use you for particular things. And you look at these people like they're everyday people, but they practice witchcraft. They're in these secret societies, which we're going to get into all of that. Because that's the culture that they want set up on the planet Earth, to break, all right, the chains, all right, that come with righteousness. You see? I guess IUIC spoke on it. Okay, Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union, another satanic, all right, couple. All right? And Dwayne Wade has ultimately offered his child up as a sacrifice within this NWO. All right. Meanwhile, all right, you have this guy, Dwight Howard. I thought I had it, but ultimately he's being, cursed out by Jake and in the world, for putting his sons through stringent workouts and not letting them quit. See, he's being downgraded for making a man out of his son, but Dwayne Wade is being upgraded in this society, all right, by allowing his son to become a girl. And Gabrielle Union is completely out of order, all right? So we're witnessing the disorder in marriage, okay, which is ultimately a plan, bringing it back home, of the NWO. And they're using, and these are just a few examples, all right, what we just showed you with these particular instances, all right, are a micro, all right, a small component of the bigger picture of the culture and the society we see being pushed in front of us. So this is from a book that was written in 1989, all right, by a man named Ralph Epperson. And you see the title of the book. Okay, this term has ultimately been commercialized, but this is a real thing. Okay? Many nations have tried. And again, on the back of your dollar, you see this wording, Inuit conceptives. Basically, the gods have granted us the authority of our overtaking of a novus ordo seclorum, a new secular age, a new world. Why would they put that on the dollar? And you notice, all right, the beginning of the new world, okay, starts with the end of that dollar. All right, you see this all-seeing eye, which goes back to the wisdom that the elites possess. That's why they call themselves the Illuminati, the illuminated ones. All right, which ultimately in the scriptures, that's Lucifer. Lucifer is not some damn demon who was kicked out of heaven. Lucifer, which is a word used in the Bible one time, it just means the bearers of the light, the elites and the rulers of this world being cast down from their rulership. And that's ultimately what's getting ready to happen. They're getting ready to be taken down from that lofty position that they have. Okay? because the word heavens, okay, it could also mean shemayim or waters. Let's look it up real quick. Let's get Isaiah 14. And we're going to read that excerpt from that book, because it's going to make sense why you're seeing all of this evil happening, because this is a part of their plan. This is Isaiah 14 and 12, all right, which earlier in this chapter, this character is called the king of Babylon. He's called the wicked. He's called the oppressor, okay, the one who cuts down trees, and then eventually it calls him Lucifer. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? Now, when you look up this term heaven, all right, shemayim, right? It can mean heavens. It can mean waters, which the heavens, that is waters, all right? But if you ultimately just do further looking into it, boom, what does it say here? From an unused root, meaning to be lofty. All right, to be lofty. All right, let's look up this word lofty. The word lofty. Okay. So again, everything is context. Okay, no literal mythical character was kicked out of heaven. Heaven can be likened into a rulership, to be lofty, imposing height of a noble or exalted nature, magnificent, majestic. And I believe the scriptures even speak to Esau being lofty. Okay? Yeah, lofty. The lofty looks of man. The eyes of the lofty being humbled. Okay? So, Babylon the Great, the rulers of this beast system, are lofty. And they're getting ready to be taken from their position. All right? Another example, Lamentations, the 2nd chapter. All right? When we as a nation fell, Lamentations 2:1, how hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with the cloud of his anger, and have cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel. What does that mean? We were literally cast down from the heavens? No, that means we were taken out of our rulership. All right. In the first captivity we went into after the split of the kingdom and the breaking up of Solomon's reign of 40 years of peace was the Assyrian Babylonian Empire. This is what Jeremiah is speaking to, but he's using the symbolism of us being cast down, all right, to the earth. So again, when you deal with Lucifer, all right, the word Lucifer just means Hayalal. It just means brightness. Okay, the light bearer. See, which the true light bearer, all right, on the right hand side is Yahweh Shai, but again, you have a left hand priesthood. You see, and they have their principles, and they are saying that they have the true light. Ultimately, this is what describing the king of Babylon and Satan, which we know pursuant to 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, there would be a man, which is a nation of people, who would come to do the bidding of Satan, and they rule this modern day Babylon, which means confusion. Okay? And as we go into the wording of this book, if you can see it, all right, it says here on a particular page in the book that was written in 1989. Again, they put their plans. These things are hidden in books, but then you have particular truthers and people who come out and expose things. So it says the old world is coming to an end. It will be replaced with a new way of doing things. And are not we witnessing in that? Okay. And sex is a big proponent of the new way of doing things, taken away from the norms. Natural is now being outlawed. Okay. Within the new world, there's no gender. The new world will be called the New World, as you can see, order. This new structuring will redistribute poverty from the have nations and will give it out to the have not nations. Ultimately, there will be a higher class. All right. It will be the rich and the poor. It won't be a middle class. All right. It says the NWO will include changes in the family. All right. It says homosexual marriages will be legalized. Have not we seen that? All right. That's your boy Obama, which he could be Nimrod, back, in a reincarnation, but he was used to push a lot of this confusion. Okay. Go back to a character by the name of Alfred Kinsey, the sexual revolution. All right. These things were used, all right, as tools to hurry in this NWO, this new way, this new world. Okay. Which ultimately it's a religion. Parents will not be allowed to raise their children. Okay. Again, you bind the strong man. Okay. And you spoil the goods, the women and the children. The state now raises the children, as through feminism, women have been taken out of the homes, told that being a mother, all right, being a wife is oppression. Okay. Again, you're supposed to put your neck under the fetters of wisdom, of order. But the serpent, in his way, teaches you that order is bondage. Order is a burden. All right. Liberate yourself. All right. To true godhood through freedom, sexual liberty. Okay. And to the flesh, it feels good. But the result, as we'll show you, is absolute chaos. All women will be employed by the state and not allowed to be homemakers. Divorce will become exceedingly easy and monogamous marriage will be slowly phased out. Okay? So this is the environment that we are witnessing. All right? Divorce will become exceedingly easy, right? Monogamous marriages will be slowly phased out. And they use the woman to push this. Okay? They use the woman. She's married to him, right? But she does, I don't know if it was a porno or whatever, what the hell they did, okay, with this guy. Now let's talk about it. Okay? Let's talk about it. And in my opinion, all of these people are just fake actors used on the left-hand side. They're all involved in orgies and, all of these weirdo activities. But it's pushing out an enchantment. It's pushing out a vibration. Okay? And these podcasts and these radio shows are also used to push out these wicked vibration and enchantments. Okay? Let's go back. It says the government will become the owner of all the factors of production. The private ownership of property will be outlawed. Religion will be outlawed unless you're basically of the do as thou wilt mentality. All right. As now they're telling you religions. All right. Let's see if I can find that article. Let's see. Yep. Boom. Let's see if I can pull that up. See, these are the unrighteous decrees that are coming to pass. And it's all centered around a NWO, a new way, a new world. Phasing out the old, which ultimately, this is the place where our Lord was crucified. Okay? So religion will be outlawed. Okay? And this is from technocracy.news. UN certified expert says what? Religious communities must yield to alphabet happy demands. Okay? The attack on religious freedom is unprecedented, with new calls for religious communities to bow before the alphabet happy demand for inclusion and acceptance. Okay, so this goes to that scripture that he who ultimately doesn't bow to evil makes himself a prey. See? And at the forefront of this is ultimately the woman as a weapon. Okay, because when all of these marches were going on and real men were trying to stand up and say this is too much, who was telling the men to shut up? Who's best friends with all of these alphabet people? Who's at these marches marching for these happy people? Women, right? Women. Of course, men too, but women have been used as the tool, okay, to help aid in bringing about this new way, because you have to understand, especially amongst, all right, the so-called black community, who has been the head of the household via these policies and via the wicked vibration that they pushed out on you Israelites? The woman. Okay, so if the woman has been at the forefront for the last 60 years, you know, or so forth, look at the result of her leadership. See? Look at the result of her leadership. Okay? It says in the U.S., the First Amendment, and then the crazy part about it is you have people who know that they're Israelites who get angry at that talking point. And instead of understanding the great fall that we've witnessed via this disorder we've taken on as a nation, you play right into the hands of the devil by saying, but what about the men? We get on the men too. But what we're going to show you is how women, all right, are being used as a tool and a weapon to bring about all of this damn confusion. Okay? We don't shy away from that. And of course, the men, because where did Adam go wrong? Because, yeah, again, women could be very wicked and detrimental. But what's even worse is when the man eats the fruit too. And that's what Adam did. See? So this is where we come in, all right, as, you know, through the second Adam, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, who was obedient. All right, we're coming in with a standard, with a testimony. And it's testifying against all evil, all disorder, because this place is completely out of order. And the policies and everything that are being passed are all what? Anti-Messiah in their root, in their intent. And this is where it's all going. Okay? They can't bring about their NWO if people have standards, if there's unity and bonds with family and trust amongst the people. They got to break all of that up. You see? With family comes standards, trust, unity, communities. Okay? They don't want that. In the U.S., the First Amendment, all right, enshrines religious liberty as God-given right. This would be demolished by this alphabet happy thinking. The very small happy community has more right to demand religious subservience, all right, than the dog catchers union. All right, you can look that up and read it. I don't want to go too far into that, but this is the world we're living in. Again, let's go back. Let's go to the scriptures. Let's let this load. Y'all know how this computer gets down. So we as Israelites, all right, we can't get caught up in this damn, you know, the game these devils are playing. We got to call out evil at its root. We don't trim our way to seek love. We're witnessing a very rebellious and degenerate culture being pushed in the earth. Isaiah, the 59th chapter. Okay, Isaiah 59. And let's start at 14. I'll start at 13. It says, "And transgressing and lying against Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and departing away from our power. And this is what our nation has done. And they make sure that all of this rebellion is centered around Jake. Okay? Look at Jake's culture. It's become degenerate. All of the tribes. It's a very degenerate culture, especially black culture. It is the most toxic, wicked way to live a life. That's why we, as the elect, Lord willing, we're of that number, the hopeful elect, we've turned away from that way. It's toxic. And you have many of you Israelites that are, you come into this truth, but you still want to be a black person. Okay? In how you view the Most High and how you view God and how you view men and how you view women and what this world has taught you, you haven't thrown it away. The God of this world has blinded your mind to the point where there's no coming back for a lot of you, even you with the fringes on. Okay? Okay, you got Israelite women feminist. You got Israelite men SIMPS. And they can't let it go. Okay? Well, you're going to be destroyed. Okay? You're the elect of the 2/3. Speaking oppression and revolting, conceiving and uttering from the hearts the words of falsehood. This is what has come from our people taking on this wicked and rebellious way. You have no conflict resolution skills. Order is the last thing on your mind. Okay, then those of you who say you believe in the Bible, you believe in it from a Christianity standpoint, from which comes, I can do what the hell I want to do. And when you start talking about order and, you know, the commandments and you get rebellious and mean and crazy. Complete confusion. All right. And it's created, all right, taking on this new world philosophy and these new age ideologies has led us all the way down the path of destruction and confusion. It says, and judgment is turned away backwards, and justice standeth afar off, for truth is fallen in the streets, and equity cannot enter. Yea, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey, especially amongst Jake. But in this world, if you depart from evil, you make yourself a prey. And Yahweh saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. This is why he's getting ready to send back his only begotten son. Okay? Yeah, truth is gone, NLT. All right? Which, again, you know, you with the NLT, you got to be able to discern in the spirit, because sometimes it goes off, man. You got Al-Azhar talking about none shall want her mate. It's talking about vultures, the vulture men having enough coochie, vulture coochie. None shall want her mate. No vulture man shall be looking for a mate, because there's going to be so much vulture coochie running around. Anyway. Yeah, you guys are crazy, man. It says, yes, truth is gone, and anyone who renounces evil is attacked. The Lord looked and was displeased to find that there was no justice. So anyone who renounces evil is attacked. That's a result of this NW0 mindset. And our people are being used as tools, all right, to fully promote it. Okay, and this was the same environment before the flood came. Genesis 6 and 5. Jake was going completely off, and Noah was the only one amongst his people, okay, to stick to what was right. Genesis 6 and 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. See? And he repented the Lord that he had made man. Okay? Not half man, half angel, not Anunnaki, all this crazy. No, man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. See? And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast and creeping thing and fowl. So the Lord brought about a flood, but Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. See? And we are fighting to be at the in the stead of Noah. You see? But as you see here, let's read this in the NLT, see what it says. Genesis 6:5, and the Lord observed the extent of human wickedness on the earth, and he saw that everything they thought or imagined was consistently and totally evil. This is crazy. This is crazy. Disorder in marriage. Now, we always bring this out in the book of Wisdom of Solomon. All right. The 14th chapter, I'll get it in the GNT. The results of adultery, which ultimately, when you read this chapter, this is giving you that history of what happened at the time of Noah with the sons of God, the proud race of giants. See, the proud giants, as it calls them in this chapter, is speaking of the fallen ones. Giant, all right, or Nephilim means to fall. The fallen ones are the royal seed of Adam being given over and falling, all right, from their leadership estate into idols, man. The proud giants is speaking of the sons of God getting into all of these wicked idols and philosophies. And this was the result of it. Okay? The results of idolatry. One thing led to another. It was not enough to be wrong about the knowledge of the Most High. They lived in a state of evil warfare, but they were so ignorant they called it peace. And this is what people are calling this peace. All right. The men, the women, they look at this disorder as some form of freedom. They look at it as like, this is peace. They look at America, polluted air, polluted water, wicked and destructive education. Children are just going missing. Divorce is at an all-time high. The baby deletions, it's at an all-time, fetus deletion at an all-time high. This is peace to people. But all of these things and these behaviors we're witnessing are a result of idol worship. They murdered children in their initiation ritual and celebrated secret mysteries and held wild ceremonial orgies and unnatural practices. And again, all of these people who we're showing you are a part of that. But they are used, all right, to push about, all right, this confusion on the people. These are nothing more than enchantments. Okay? And the baby deletions, abortions, which the scriptures speak against that in the law. Yeah, we have a law against that. None shall cast their young. That's in the book of Exodus, the 23rd chapter. All right? As a matter of fact, and it's crazy. We live in a situation where to find out there's a baby on the way is a curse. But Exodus 23 and 26, there shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in thy land. Thy number of thy days will I fulfill. This word cast, okay, because we're supposed to be fruitful and multiply. The word is shakal, to make childless, to miscarry, okay, to show barrenness or, what did I say? Read it out loud. Okay? So we do have a law that addresses that behavior. And who leads the league? All right, you so-called black, all right, women and Hispanic women are in that. See, we lead the league in everything negative. See? So again, they murdered children in their initiation rituals, and all of these things are tied to rituals. All of these behaviors, again, are tied to idols. Okay? But they present these things as, oh, that's just a clinic. No, these are temples to Molech, man. Celebrated secret mysteries and held ceremonial orgies and unnatural practices. They no longer kept their lives or their marriages pure. See? A man might kill another by the act of treachery or cause him grief by committing adultery with his wife. And now these things are just being celebrated. You're going to interview your wife and the man who plowed her on camera. And it's a laughing matter. You're going to interview your wife after she lays with your son's, her son's friend who she brought into the house. Which, again, these are all rituals in my personal opinion. I speak as a man. Okay, but again, this is where we are. Okay, you got women who are mothers and wives walking around with their titties and their ass out. All right, and this guy is supposed to be a Christian. Message for Keke Palmer's boyfriend. See? Now everybody got an opinion, and I'm so goddamn tired of niggas with microphones and cameras to press record. And the man, all right, this dude, this was her, her husband, which because he wasn't legally married to her, according to the state, I guess he didn't put a ring on it. They're saying he don't have a say so over what she wears, and now the thing is we need to stop, telling black women what they should wear. Okay, and let me play this video real quick. I played this before, but listen to this, what looks to be an Edomite, as he speaks on this matter of the woman. He says some very good things. Let me speed it up. But for the sake of time, let me just play it.
And Nimrod, and we told you how all that plays out. And then also in 3rd Adam 3, we showed you how that when a society gets away from God, the Bible, they go into goddess worship. This is not a statue of something called now. This is a statue of the divine feminine. This is what the Bible calls Ashtoreth. You can go through your Bible and study it for yourself. I just typed in my word search here the word Ashtoreth, and there are several mentions in the Old Testament. You see here that Solomon, king of Israel, had built it for Ashtoreth, the abomination of the Zidonians. This was a Zidonian goddess. Of course, it has many different names and travels throughout time and shows its ugly heads everywhere. Sometimes it's called Ishtar, sometimes it's called Isis, sometimes it's called...
See, all of these idols that that are in the scriptures and that go back to the ancient world, there's behavior patterns tied to them, and you women are used as a tool to bring about a great confusion. You see?
Ashtoreth, many other places. I mean, they called it Diana in the book of Acts with the Diana of the Ephesians. This goddess is a damnable, evil thing, and it is a symptom of a society getting away from God. Let me show you a segment of 3rd Adam 3, Rise of the Divine Feminine, and explain to you who Ruth Bader Ginsburg is and why she believes the way that she does. So now you have basically the pagan trinity. You have Nimrod and Semiramis and Tammuz. And Nimrod was declared to be the god of the sun. Semiramis was declared to be goddess of the moon. And Tammuz was declared to be the son of the stars. As this religion evolved over time, the emphasis was not placed on Nimrod, it was not placed on Tammuz. The emphasis was placed on Semiramis, the woman. And what Semiramis was declared to be and Tammuz was declared to be, and she was declared to be the queen of heaven.
Beyonce, Queen Bee, which Beyonce told you women to be independent, do this, do it, but she goes and gets married. Same thing with Nicki Minaj or what's her name, Cardi 3 or Cardi B. You see? Which imagine those women walking by King David, like him and his brothers are, in a meeting, and those hoes walk by. What do you think would happen to them back then? But see, they are used The Il Nana, Foxy Brown, that's an ancient deity. These people, all right, thugs, thug life, that's an ancient deity. Okay, thuggy. All right, so the men and women are being used to push about confusion and perversions and enchantments amongst the culture, and look at the result. This is why the scripture says, depart ye. The departing is turning away from the mindset that comes with these idols and the behavior pattern that comes with these idols.
You notice that the crown is on Mary's head.
The Queen of Heaven.
That's baby Jesus. But the crown's on Mary's head because she's the Queen of Heaven. And so all the worship pointed to the Holy Mother and the Divine Son.
The Pope is with it. As a matter of fact, one of these, see if I can find that. One of these archbishops says our Father in the Lord's Prayer is problematic. Okay? So they're going all out in rebellion. Okay? So those who have been victims of oppressive patriarchy. And see, Black Lives Matter, all right, was another component to push this idol worship and to push the divine feminine as the head. You know? In their mission statement, which I did a video on it, okay, which they took it down once people start calling it out. And I have the actual document. I have the video. All right. But basically, their mission statement said, our goal, all right, is to do away, all right, with the standard practice of patriarchy, all right, and push people who are happy in alphabet as the leaders of our communities. Because the patriarchy is oppressive, which a patriarchy is the man at the head. You see? But this is where this world is going. But let's go back to where we were.
Men are entitled to be in charge and dominate women.
So patriarchy is a society or institution marked by the supremacy of the father.
And the truth is God is good. And this is not some design to oppress women. This is a design to protect women. And the reason is because this entity right here is always trying to go after that entity right there. That's his favorite tactic. That's what he's always trying to do. And Satan knows that if he can get her, then he can get everybody.
That shows you the power of women. Now, at camp a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the power of women. That's why in 1 Esdras, the 4th chapter, all right, when they were asking what is the most powerful, you know, one of the individuals said wine, one said women. All right, because women are very powerful. All right, and when taken out of context and taken out of a role, all right, they can disrupt. Okay, you know, whole societies, whole civilizations, whole kingdoms. I mean, in the garden was the perfect example of that. Okay.
This is a consistent theme all throughout the Bible. And really, this whole concept does not demean women in the slightest. This actually shows how vitally important women are. And if women weren't important, then why is Satan going after them like he does? It's because even Satan knows that the woman, if he's got her, then he's got everybody.
So my job was to let the court see that these classifications more often put women not on a pedestal, but in a cage.
See, the classifications of order don't put women on a pedestal, it puts them in a cage. All right, so through this Satanism, this ideology, okay, what is looked at as freedom, okay, is actually your downfall. You see, and they call the order that the Heavenly Father put you in, okay, being in a cage. Okay, this is Job 10:21. Before I go whence, I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death, in a land of darkness and of darkness itself, in the land in the shadow of death, without any order. And where the light is this darkness, without any order. Let's look up this word order. And now a lot of women are waking up to the fact, I want to live a soft life. I want to be taken care of. I want to be protected. I'm tired of going into work. All right. Sadar, arrangement, order. There is an arrangement and an order set up by the Heavenly Father through his only begotten Son. Okay. But we're in this land of darkness, gross darkness, all right, where order, all right, is looked at as some form of absolute slavery, which again, we looked at, okay, we are to what? Not refuse the counsel of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and put our feet into her fetters and our neck into her chain, and bow down our shoulder to her, and be not grieved with her bonds. See, as the scriptures say, the laws are not grievous. Let's see here. First John 5:3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. And the commandments come in the volume of the book. Yeah, you have the 613 we receive via Moses and Aaron. All right. But the whole book is an instruction. See? And his commandments are not grievous. The word grievous means what? Let's look that up. See if I can, give me 1 second. Basically burdensome. Give me 1 second. I accidentally pressed dictionary. Look up this word. Grievous. Goodness gracious. Something bad. All right. Serious, grave, bad, critical, all right? Because order criticizes evil. From what you eat to what you do, to what you can't put your rod in, what you can't open your legs to, who you can't open them to, agonizing, hurtful, okay? Being long-suffering. Jake don't want to do that. The laws ain't wounding, damaging, injurious. Okay? Because Jake focuses on what the law tells them they can't do, but what can you do? And how is that pleasing to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai? Distressing. The commandments are not grievous, but this world, all right, and what it's pushing is telling you that the law is grievous. Let's get the book of 1 Corinthians 11:3. By that would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is the Most High God, Yahweh. That's the order. All right? The head of man is Hamashiach. The man should be guided through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to lead, and the woman should be what? A helpmeet. All right? That's what Eve was made for, a helpmeet. That's why she was called a rib. Okay? A helpmeet. See? To help further the vision the man has received from the Most High, and to comfort him and to serve him. See? But this world has destroyed the minds of our people to the point where hearing that, it's like, oh my God. Let's finish this out, and then we get a few articles real quick.
Nobody knows. Listen, it all started with little things. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I put her, she's that Supreme Court justice that just died. I put her in 3rd Adam 3, Rise of the Divine Feminine. She said that when she was a little kid, she grew up and she was taught that women belong in a cage, and she thought, I'm going to grow up and be a woman that's not in a cage. And she grew up to be one of the most wicked women to ever live, and there are millions of dead babies in graves all across this world because of a woman who said, I'm not going to be put in a cage. And when women get outside the order of God, they become destructive nuclear weapons.
Wait a minute. I love when he says that. Like, he means it. Listen.
Because of a woman who said, I'm not going to be put in a cage. And when women get outside the order of God, they become destructive nuclear weapons.
That's right.
And so really this statue is a symbol of godlessness and anti-biblical views being promoted in the United States of America. Now, I want to tell you the only answer to this is not...
The only answer is turning to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay? Coming back to your true order, because while you women are being used for these acts of rebellion and to push this, and the men eat it up and follow it, okay, you're being erased. Jack, all right, Johns Hopkins erases women from the New Woke Language Guide, refers to them as non-men. So here it is, you women have fought tooth and nail for these rebellious concepts to be liberated. Now the average person can't even define woman. Roseanne Barker just defined women, right? Let's go to that. We'll go to that real quick. And people are mad at her, which we know these people are all used to, get people in uproars and to, let's see, I think it goes around here. But, we go into these things, man.
Their censorship, their jackboot on your face if you don't do what they want, and if the Jews don't do what they want. But I'm happy to say that for the first time in Israel and Knesset, I just want to say that.
That's fine. You said it. What is the joke that you were going to tell me?
See if I can find it.
And who has a prolapsed uterus and wife.
Oh, there we go.
And who has...
What is a woman?
A woman is me. A woman is somebody whose breasts hang down to her stomach and who has a prolapsed uterus from giving birth to 5 ungrateful little bastards who have never had to work for a thing in their goddamn life.
And people are mad at her because this is how she defined woman, all right? And there's no way to define a woman without alluding to she is the sex, all right, that is able to bring forth, all right, to have an egg, all right, and the vessel used, all right, to nourish the man's seed and to bring forth children. See, but now this world is going away from that. See? Basically, now you're becoming non-men, and now men, okay, who were born as men can be women as well. How do you feel about that? You fought tooth and nail for all of these rebellions and all of this liberate, only to get to the end of the finish line. And now we can't even define women. Now, health professionals are urged to call vaginas, the oochie coochie, all right, the hell, bonus holes, to avoid offending transmission or non-binary patients. Can you believe this shit? Exclusive women's rights campaigners say term is misogynist and wrong, but this is what you all fought for. It appears in a glossary of words for health professionals, all right, to think about using. Women have condemned a charity after it suggested the vagina could instead be referred to as the bonus hole to avoid upsetting. Oh, man. Damn, she has some good bonus hole. This is where we at. This is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. All right? This is where we are. This is where it's all going. You see that? This is what this disorder and this great liberty has led to. See? Now a biological male can be Miss Netherlands, a woman of the year, or even compete against you in swimming or basketball. Why don't the women who turn themselves into men ever enter into men's sports? See, it's all focused at the woman. The woman is being used as a tool of destruction. And now it's working and operating against you to where now you want to return to nature. Did not we do a video that nature is eventually going to take its course? And this is all falling back, all right, on this NW0. Okay? This is what it's all about. This great confusion that we're witnessing. Okay? It's leading to the what we're witnessing. Okay? Now a man, all right, can receive backlash, all right, for putting his son through intense training, telling him don't quit. Okay? But another man can be congratulated for turning his son into a girl openly. You see what I'm saying? This is where we are. Bonus holes. So y'all fought for all of this and marched for all that only to get to the end, and now we can't even define what a woman is. All right, and now you are they and them, and he can be a woman. It's all bad. It's all crazy. This is why this place needs to be destroyed, man. And our people are the ones who are at the forefront. All right, of pushing this. Now check this out. I'm gonna play this and get a few other scriptures. This is off of the Crimson Cure, where she's a sister. She's going off with the whole Islam thing, but she holds Eve accountable. If you watch her page, right, she's like a female, Kevin Samuels. But look at this big ass hat first of all. All right. And this is titled "Why Black Women Should Never Lead." Listen to this Eve and her confusion.
It was all on me. And then I had to sign for all of my platoon's equipment. I was responsible for all their stuff. The male don't want to be responsible for nobody, not even himself. He wants to blame her for everything and then say, I'm the leader. Baby, if you the leader, it's all on you.
See, we're calling out, all right, what sin has led to. We understand in the system of Edomite supremacy, ultimately, we got to call on Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to disrupt this thing. But here it is. She's coming from the perspective that women should be leaders, but what energy is she tapping into? She's tapping into masculine energy, which is a turnoff. Even when a woman is pretty, when she comes in this spirit, she's ugly. She looks absolutely terrible. Even when you have these happy, the women with women relationships, you notice one of them usually takes upon the role of a male because even they know in the back of their mind the man should be the head. See? And them studs be oppressive, boy. Here it is, y'all run away from men to get with a thing who acts like a man, and then just beat your ass, got multiple women, and wears a strap on that will never get soft. God damn.
It's you. Women are divorcing y'all in these relationships because they are allowing you to quote unquote lead, and they're being submissive, and since y'all can't lead yourself, y'all leading her into the ground. So here's the thing, the natural order is for the feminine to be the leader.
You hear that? See? Again, These women, Jake, period, and men believe this shit. You got the conscious community is with this shit. You know, the black woman is God. But you hear? But to be a leader, she's tapping into masculine energy with that big ass hat in a sweatsuit. See, to be feminine is now looked down upon amongst our women. But see, now a lot of them, I want to be the soft life. A lot of them are tired of this shit because reality is setting in. But this is the confusion that our people are running around with. And she looks a goddamn mess. Although she's not an ugly woman, she's ugly. It's the spirit she coming in. You just know, like this is a complete hell in Timberland boots. This is she ain't wearing heels. This is hell. Okay? This is a complete mess. We got to get the hell up out of here. This mindset has to be totally destroyed from amongst our people.
If you give to the feminine, right? The feminine is always going to regenerate life and everybody's going to be taken care of. Y'all are territorial. Y'all just want the image of leadership. You just want to be out in front of, I'm the leader, but all of the responsibility is actually on the woman.
See, a woman is supposed to be a helpmeet to a man who leads. But see, she wants control. The woman wants the authority that the man has. As a matter of fact, when you go to the curse that was placed upon the woman in our nation for rebellion, one of them is this. Genesis 3:16, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception, which this is both spiritual and literal. All right, to have children, you have literal pain with the birth. All right, but then ultimately, our children are, when we have children, there's nothing but sorrow that comes from having them. And in sorrow shall thy bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Now, when you NLT it, which again, you got to be careful with the NLT, it says this. Then he said to the woman, I will sharpen the pain of your pregnancy, and in pain will you give birth. And your desire will be to control your husband, but he will rule over you. So ultimately what you get from it is a competition between man and woman. This is what the serpent brought about, to where she wants to be in your leadership position. All right. But you, all right, without the natural, because that's what this pact between the serpent and Eve brought about. All right. It took away the ability from Adam, all right, and the sons of God to roam free and rule as kings and priests in the planet Earth. All right. It disrupted, all right, the plan of paradise. All right. Now we see what a mistake that was. You see, now the men and women are in competition with one another. Now the men want to be the women want to be the men. Now you have an uprising and men who are like, hell no. And the women are like, it's just complete confusion. And I'm tired of it. Okay. And you should be tired of it. Let's go back. But a woman was meant to be a helpmeet. See? And they got it all out of order. And what do you think is going to happen when this society collapses? What do you think she's going to do? You think she's going to be acting like this a man and tap into this masculine energy? Hell no. Nature is going to take its course. And again, she's sitting up here talking about leading with the feminine, but she's masculine. She got on a hat in a sweatsuit. Why can't she tap into, and she's talking like a man. Her whole energy is masculine because, again, masculine is what it takes to lead. Leadership is masculine. You see what I'm saying? But this goes into that scripture. A woman shall compass a man. And this is what we're dealing with here. You see? And when you listen to her overall argument, it's centered around submitting to a man, all right, you lose control. See? This is the curse that we just read about in the book of Genesis. See?
The leader takes the majority of the responsibility. Now, I think I'm qualified to speak on leadership because I was commissioned as an officer in the Army. And I went to Army Officers Logistics, Army Logistics University out there in Fort Lee.
And in our culture, men fought the wars. You know what you women do? Well, what about Deborah? Deborah was used at a time Jake was going off, all right, to give a vision to Barak, who called, I believe, about 9,000 soldiers to go fight a war. Deborah herself didn't fight in the war. She was used to give Barak the vision, okay, on what the Lord wanted to be done. Okay? She went with them on that mission, but was she in the war? No. Read the story. Women ain't supposed to be generals and officers in militaries. See, if they drafted her ass over to fight in World War III, you think she would want to go? Would you want to go? Huh, baby?
And I got my commission as an officer. And let me tell you something. When I was a buck private, the government took care of everything. They bought my uniforms, bought my shoes. They told me where to go, this, that, and the other one. When I crossed over to officer, I was on my own. No support from the Army. It was all on me. And then I had to sign for all of my platoon's equipment. I was responsible for all their stuff. The male don't want to be responsible for nobody, not even himself. He wants to blame her for everything and then say, I'm the leader. Baby, if you the leader, it's all on you. It's you. And if you can't control your behavior, which the majority of y'all can't, then let that woman lead.
See, she ain't talking about real men. She's talking about the little boys and the Pookie and Ray Rays that they have been choosing to have children with. You ain't talking about no real man. A real man has control over his emotions. See? And ultimately, once we receive this word, now we understand true leadership. Now we understand what it takes, putting off the old way. And who has the biggest problem, all right, with this influx of what they call red pill mindset, which a lot of them do, is a little overboard. This is why the balance of the scriptures got to be brought in. But overall, the cry from men is a valid one in these latter days. The MGTOW men going their own way. Why do you think all of these things are happening? It's because men are waking up. This is a part of the awakening in the latter days, is ultimately Eve and the serpent will be accused for their transgression. See? And the man is being put back in his righteous mind, his right mind, which is leading to you women being called out. You choose to lay with these goddamn Pookie and Ray Rays. You got to be accountable for the choices you made. Right? You the one who looking for a good time and not qualities of a husband or someone who's ain't gonna make you a single mother. But you, as the woman, as we are the woman, have to be instilled with, how do I please my husband? See? As the church, are not we the wife of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai? Right? So what are we in these latter days? What is our goal? How do we please our husband? Let's let's get back in good graces with our husband. We went off. We messed up. See? I always say, if you women want to know all right, how to be women and how to serve your men. Look at what the men of the Lord do for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Look at how dedicated they are, all right, to pleasing Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And what this world calls foolish, all right, they're happy to do it. Okay? They've put on the fetters of responsibility. Okay? And it ain't always going to be easy. All right? But guess what? There's a reward coming from that, man. Anyway.
Since all of the responsibility is on her anyway.
So would you say that women, when it comes to controlling behavior, can act on emotions in the heat of the moment?
No, actually, let me tell you something about women and men's brains. We all have something called the orbital frontal cortex that exists in the prefrontal cortex, okay? The orbital frontal cortex controls behavior, it controls impulse, it controls emotions. The woman's orbital frontal cortex is larger than her amygdala, which is where emotions come from. The male's orbital frontal cortex is smaller than the woman's and smaller in relation to his amygdala.
Because women are supposed to be the first teachers. They're supposed to, who are they supposed to teach? The children. The Lord knew what he was doing. See, what she's saying is true, but she's what? Out of order with it. See? The Lord made women more prone to emotions and better with speech and different things like that, and nourishing and compassion for the sake of a household. See? But she's not going to bring the Most High God, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, into the picture. She's just speaking on the perspective of a feminist, and she's god awful ugly in the sense of her masculine energy. And that hat looks horrible. That she looks a goddamn mess.
Y'all have a chemical called testosterone in your brain that once it rises, it cuts off the orbital frontal cortex's job.
The Lord gave men masculinity and testosterone for the purpose of leadership. The preacher, the provider, the protector. Men are naturally stronger. Okay, the Lord knew what he was doing when he made human beings. Male and female made he them, and he gave them particular characteristics for their role. You see that? But we've been fed this do as thou wilt disorder of a culture and mindset, and look at the result. Right? Look at the result. Okay? The result of idolatry. One thing led to another. It was not enough to be wrong about the knowledge of the Most High. They lived in a state of evil warfare, but they were so ignorant they called it peace. They murdered children in their initiation rituals, celebrated secret mysteries, and held wild ceremonial orgies with unnatural practices. They no longer kept their lives or marriage. Marriage is pure. A man might kill another by the act of treachery or cause him grief by committing adultery with his wife. Everything was a complete riot of bloody murder. This is before the flood. See, and we're living in those same days. We're living in the days of Noah, right? As in the days of Noah, so shall it be before the days of the Son of Man. Robbery, deceit, corruptness, faithfulness, disorder, falsehood, harassment of innocent people, all right, ingratitude, moral decay, sexual perversion, broken marriages, which is at the forefront of a lot of this behavior, adultery, immorality, not immortality. This is definitely mortal. The worship of idols whose names should never be spoken is the beginning and the end and the cause of all evil. People who worship them lose control of themselves in ecstasy. See? Now a man, what this Negro is describing, all right, are men who don't have the fear of the Lord, who don't have control of their emotions. Pookie, Ray Ray, and Tyrone, who they chose. See? The men of the Lord are learning balance. All right, are learning to be leaders, are coming into a righteous inheritance, man. And y'all are going to be left behind. All right, because ultimately what the serpent gave you, you ain't willing to give it up. Okay, with you being with the divine feminine being at the forefront of so-called black people, right? Let's just use the tribe of Judah. Okay, because that's the worst. All right. Even Benjamin and Levi have more order. But anyway, look at you as the head. All right. Over the past, let's just give it 40 years. Has it led to life? You got what you wanted. You're not in the role of a wife. You don't have to stay at home and work and raise children. You're free out into the world. You're at the head of the households because ain't no men there. Okay? What's the result? You in that big ass hat. That's the result. And unruly children running around, all right, who don't have any control of their emotions, running around with all this testosterone, somebody bumping to them, nigga, I'm gonna kill you, pow, pow, pow. The worship of idols whose names should never be spoken, the divine feminine, is the beginning and the end and the cause and the result of every evil. People who worship them, this queen of heaven is a true energy that got to be stopped. They lose control of themselves, okay, in ecstasy, or pass off lies as prophecies, or live wickedly, or break their word without hesitation. They tell lies under oath and expect no punishment, because the idols they put their trust in are lifeless. But punishment will finally catch up with them for two reasons. First, they were in error about the Most High and they worshiped idols, okay? And second, they had so little regard for holiness that they made false statements to deceive people. When unrighteous people commit sin, they will be hunted down, not by the power or whatever thing they swear by, but by the punishment that sinners deserve. See, and this is what led to the flood, and this is what's going to lead to the fire. Let's watch a little bit more of this. I'm going a little bit over what I wanted to do, but just listen to a little bit more.
Which renders y'all impulsive.
No. Men are not impulsive. The men of this world who've been raised by the divine feminine energy, yeah, they don't know how to control their emotions. Okay, they seek to ruin. That's a feminine characteristic. This is why women belong in the house raising their children. Those emotions don't need to be ruling the world and in offices, because all you bitches is doing in these offices is walking around, giving people hell, getting your steps in. These offices are full of women walking around, giving women in authority, walking around, getting your steps in, ruining people's lives. All right. And this is not to say men don't have their role in this downfall, but the woman being put as the head, the disorder in marriage, and everything that we're talking about is a big problem that must be fixed. So what does this mean? Women need to be fixed too. You ain't exempt from judgment. You should never lead because you out of your goddamn mind. Women are at the forefront of these monsters that are running around here. Right? Because ain't no fathers, right? We agree. We understand the curses. Second Esdras chapter 5 and 7. And the Sodomite sea shall cast out fish, symbolic of death, in the form of doctrines, the way the earth is, fish are just dying in the sea. And a noise, and shall make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall hear the voice thereof, the voice of the NW0. And there shall be a confusion in many places, all right, and fire shall oft be sent out again, And the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous woman shall bring forth monsters, all right, in the form of these deformed children, crack babies, all right, and all right, these niggas who they raise, all right, up, all right, as complete baby boys and go out into the earth, all right, with a deformed mindset. So the Bible calls you women out, man. Let's get Isaiah 3:12. As for my people, children are their oppressors. Okay, and the children is speaking of Esau, Edom, all right, but it's also speaking of our own damn children are in the neighborhoods oppressing and ruining the neighborhoods. Who's breaking in to Auntie Betty and Grandma Wilma's house? These little monsters, okay, with no fathers, okay? See, this is what Esau wanted for us as a nation. Children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths. And we can get so many scriptures, okay? Childish leaders oppress my people, okay? And the leadership is childish. Esau is a big child, and these damn children, okay? And women rule over them. Oh, my people, your leaders mislead you and they send you down a wrong road. Okay, and you got men who bow to this. That's what's even more dangerous. When the men bow to this energy. See? But again, she's tapping into her masculine energy. Why can't she lead with a feminine energy? Even when we go into the book of Maccabees, the mother with the 7 children, the Lord said he stirred up a manly spirit in her. She had the Lord put a spirit in her. All right. She had to tap into like a warrior type mentality to get through what she went through. Okay. Because ultimately leadership is masculine, man.
You're not able to control your anger and your behavior, right? So women are more emotionally expressive, men are more emotionally reactive. Now, when I get to talking about science, a lot of people tend to shy away from that. But if we're going to be facts, let's go to the factual things that are indisputable. Men cannot control their emotions. They can't control it. Hence why you have people going to schools, shooting up the schools. You have domestic violence, and you got men literally just killing themselves, right?
So you heard it. Let's listen to a little bit of, I believe her name is Kendra.
We're gonna stop it because that's enough.
That's enough.
And we're gonna come back. Okay. So she is attempting to speak to this from both a cultural and a biological standpoint, but it's warped because she doesn't actually understand male nature. She doesn't understand the way men think, and she doesn't understand how they express themselves in different given situations.
You know, like women ain't running over people with cars, destroying men's property. But, you know, at the end of the day, all right, you can watch this video. We'll listen to a little bit and get out of here just to hear a little bit of her perspective, and we'll roll out.
She's saying the natural order, which would be observable in nature if it were true, is that the female is in the leadership position over males. In the vast majority of mammals, of which we are a part, and of the vast majority of primates, of which we are also a part as a group of human beings, overwhelmingly, the males dominate and lead females. Biologically speaking, it is naturally that way for one real simple basic reason. And we're going to start at that real simple basic reason. The real simple basic reason that masculine has typically been in the leadership position over the feminine is because the feminine cannot physically control, dominate, subjugate the masculine. Okay? We can't beat men up. We can't assume the leadership position because we can't beat men up. The vast majority of women, by and large, you pick any woman, and then you pick a man randomly with your eyes closed. 9 out of 10 times, she's not going to be able to physically dominate and then subdue that man.
Yeah, somebody put a comment. One of the main reasons why you have so many emotional men nowadays is because they're being raised by single mothers. These mothers have the belief that young men can't let their emotions run wild, but be able to control them at the same time. And that's a big part of it. But watch this video if you want to hear her cook, like she say. She do some good videos. But yeah, everybody in the comments cursing her ass out. And you know she was hell when she was an officer. Oh, man. And yeah, she was definitely a butch, you know. Divorce is never the way out. You got Jake, Yashala 1449. Proverbs 21:19. It is better to dwell in a wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman. You just know you dealing with a monster like that, you're going to be dealing, you know, with hell. But anyway, yeah, bro's posting scriptures. Anyway, I'm going to just end this lesson because it already went over what I wanted. But if you want to watch the rest of this video, you can go to her channel. I'm done. And again, you women lose in the end with all of this confusion you're helping bring forth by the enemy. Now we can't even define woman. Now Nicholas can turn into Nikki and win Miss Netherlands. Shalom.